Welcome to Old Buddhist Philosophy. The month of September arrives not as a simple turning of the calendar, but as a sacred unfolding, like a lotus opening its petals at dawn, each layer revealing deeper mysteries hidden within the flow of time. Numbers, those quiet companions of our lives, rise again to speak, not as mere digits, not as accidents of chance, but as living codes, written by the universe itself, placed before us, like stars scattered across the dark canvas of destiny. In Buddhist wisdom, nothing is without cause, nothing is without meaning, and even the numbers that appear to us are woven with karmic intent. Nostradamus once hinted that the future would be inscribed in symbols too subtle for the unawakened to see, while Baba Vanga often reminded us that the language of destiny speaks in patterns, waiting for the open heart to read them. This September the veil is thin, and the sacred scroll of numbers unfurls before us. They carry not just promises of gain or luck, but teachings, profound vibrations of balance, compassion, endurance, vision, renewal, mastery, and divine manifestation. Each number is a lamp on the path, not to banish all shadow, but to guide your steps as you journey through it. Just as the Buddha taught that suffering is not punishment, but the fertile soil where compassion takes root, these numbers remind us that every challenge is an initiation, every trial a hidden blessing. They whisper of cycles that return like the moon, of change that must be embraced like the tide, of structures that must be built with patience, and of harmony that must be lived through service. To walk with these sacred numbers is to accept an invitation, a call not to drift aimlessly, but to align with the rhythm of creation itself. They tell us that life is neither chaos nor coincidence. It is a woven pattern, a cosmic dance, where every step has meaning. Nostradamus foresaw times when humanity would falter, yet rise renewed. Baba Vanga spoke of healing that comes after collapse, of communities bound not by fear but by compassion. And in these very numbers, the same message flows. There is no end without renewal, no darkness without the promise of light. As the winds of September move across your life, the presence of these vibrations reminds you of your place in the great unfolding. They are not there to control you, but to awaken you. Each one is both a mirror and a key, reflecting your soul's truth, while unlocking the doors that lead to higher purpose. They echo the Buddhist teaching that the treasure we search for outside has always been within, waiting to be recognized. The numbers are simply signposts, pointing us back to ourselves, to the eternal flame that cannot be extinguished by trial or time. So let this September be more than a passage of days. Let it be a pilgrimage of spirit, guided by the secret language of numbers and the wisdom of those who soar beyond time. Align with their rhythm, and you will find that what seems like chance is in fact destiny, and what appears as silence is the universe itself speaking. For each number, each sign, each vibration is not random, it is part of the eternal scripture, written not on paper, but in the fabric of life itself. And so the sacred code of September is revealed, not as prediction alone, but as prophecy, as guidance, and as a call to awaken. These are not just numbers, they are teachers, companions, and guardians on your journey. To walk with them is to walk with destiny itself. Number 14, the path of balance. The number 14 shines like a lantern upon a road covered in mist, its flame guiding the traveler through uncertain turns, whispering the eternal truth that freedom without responsibility is chaos, and responsibility without freedom is a prison. In the sacred language of numerology, 14 holds the vibration of adaptability, the art of bending without breaking, of shifting without losing the essence of who you are. It reminds us that life, like a river, must always flow, yet even the mightiest river is shaped and guided by the steady embrace of its banks. Within the teachings of Buddhism, this harmony mirrors the middle way, the path that avoids the burning extremes of indulgence and denial. The Buddha spoke of balance as the bridge that leads to liberation, a rhythm of walking without clinging and without rejecting. 14 becomes the living echo of this wisdom. It is the breath between effort and rest, the silence between sound, the calmness in the storm. To embody its truth is to know that growth requires flexibility, yet endurance requires grounding. Seers of the past have also touched the essence of 14. Nostradamus foretold of times when humanity would crumble beneath the weight of its excess, when kingdoms born of greed would fall like towers of sand, only to be reborn in the ashes of restored harmony. Baba Vanga warned that those who clutch too tightly at fleeting pleasures or grasp at the illusion of power will watch it dissolve into emptiness, while those who learn the art of moderation will inherit the peace of ages. In this way, 14 is both prophecy and mirror, revealing both the danger of extremes and the salvation of balance. The current of 14 carries wealth not in the form of sudden windfalls, but in the treasure of equilibrium itself. To give and to receive in equal measure, to advance without losing stillness, to dream yet not abandon discipline, this is where true fortune lies. It is the number that whispers of sacred patience, of movement with grace, of strength that comes not from force, but from harmony. 14 is not a promise of quick triumphs. It is the quiet assurance that destiny favors those who walk with balance in both heart and action. In the presence of 14, you are reminded that destiny is not conquered by sheer will alone, but by the poise with which you carry your power. To walk with this number is to live in rhythm with the universe itself, to know that the dance of life is neither reckless abandon nor rigid restraint. It is the art of moving freely while remaining grounded, a path that leads not just to success, but to peace. Number 6, the Sacred Heart. The number 6 rises like the sound of a distant temple bell, subtle yet unshakable, a vibration that awakens the heart to its most sacred duty, compassion, harmony, and healing. It is not a number of conquest or loud proclamations, but of quiet strength, of love that holds the world together when everything else begins to fracture. In the wisdom of Buddhism, 6 is the reflection of the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections of generosity, discipline, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. These are not abstract ideals placed far beyond our reach. They are living practices meant to transform ordinary life into a sacred pilgrimage. Each act of generosity loosens the chains of greed. Each moment of patience softens the fire of anger. Each breath in meditation opens the door to awakening. The number 6 carries this teaching, reminding us that enlightenment is not hidden in the clouds, but born in the small, steady acts of daily compassion. In numerology, the vibration of 6 is often called responsibility, but it is not the kind that suffocates or crushes the spirit. It is the responsibility that nourishes, that expands, that anchors life with meaning. It is the mother who carries her child through storms, the friend who stands firm when the world turns cold, the healer who gives without keeping score. 6 teaches that true power is not found in how much you gather, but in how much you are willing to give. It tells us that success measured only in wealth is shallow, but success measured in the lives we touch becomes eternal. The heart of 6 beats not for the self alone, but for the web of connections that bind us all together. The great seers, too, spoke of this sacred number. Nostradamus envisioned healers rising in times of deep suffering, guiding humanity not with authority, but with compassion, restoring balance where cruelty had broken harmony. Baba Vanga foresaw communities rising again from ashes, reborn not through conquest, but through kindness, led by those who carried tender hearts. In their prophecies, we hear the echo of 6. It is the prophecy of gentleness overcoming brutality, of compassion becoming the truest strength. To embody 6 is to become part of this prophecy, to stand as one of those quiet healers who hold light in a world often tempted by shadow. When you walk under the blessing of 6, wealth reveals itself in forms the world often overlooks. It is the warmth of family ties, the peace of a shared meal, the comfort of knowing you are not alone in your struggles. It is the harmony that comes when the heart is unburdened by selfishness, when giving becomes as natural as breathing. 6 teaches us that fortune without compassion is hollow, like a palace without inhabitants, while compassion joined with fortune creates a legacy that can never be undone. It whispers that the truest wealth is not stored in vaults or counted in coins, but found in the harmony of a life lived with love at its center. The Sacred Heart of 6 is a mirror reflecting our deepest truth, that love is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. It calls us to nurture, not just those we call our own, but all beings who cross our path, for each carries the same spark of life within. It reminds us that the greatest temples are not built of stone or marble, but of compassion woven into daily acts of care. In living the vibration of 6, we become guardians of harmony, healers of the broken, and silent keepers of peace. The world may honor the loud and the powerful, but in the stillness, it is always love that endures. Number 27, the Seer's Vision. The number 27 arrives like a whisper carried on the wind, subtle yet undeniable, the voice that calls you to look beyond the surface of things and awaken to the truth hidden within. In numerology, 27 is the vibration of inner sight and spiritual depth, a number that does not speak of worldly gain, but of wisdom that can illuminate the darkest of paths. It combines the softness of 2, the energy of harmony, receptivity and sensitivity, with the fire of 7, the vibration of mysticism, insight and higher knowing. Together they create 27, the seer's number, the key to unlocking visions that are not taught by others, but revealed in the silence of your own being. It is the reminder that while books may teach and voices may guide, the deepest truths are those you discover when you dare to sit quietly with yourself and listen. In Buddhist tradition, this is the essence of vipassana, the practice of direct seeing. It is the art of gazing beyond illusion into the true nature of reality, the impermanence of all things, the emptiness at the heart of clinging, the freedom found in letting go. 27 is this same invitation. It asks you to peel back the layers of distraction, to see the play of craving and aversion as passing clouds, and to rest in the vast clarity that lies beneath. It teaches that vision is not only what the eyes perceive, it is the wisdom that arises when the heart learns to see. The number 27 is therefore less a sign of fortune and more a call to awakening. The wealth it brings is insight, the treasure it offers is liberation. The great seers, who walked before us, embodied this vibration. Nostradamus, with his cryptic quatrains, wrote of futures hidden in symbols and riddles, words that only revealed their truth when time itself ripened. Baba Vanga, blind to the physical world, yet saw with an inner vision so piercing that her prophecies still echo through generations. Both remind us that the unseen is no less real than what is visible, that the inner world shapes the outer far more than we imagine. The number 27 carries their legacy, offering the same possibility of sight to those who trust their intuition and dare to follow the subtle voice within. To walk with the vibration of 27 is to live with a heightened awareness that life speaks in symbols, a chance meeting, a recurring dream, a sudden feeling that tugs at your heart. These are not accidents, but the language of destiny. Under 27, you are asked to honor these signs, to take seriously the visions that arise in meditation or in the stillness of the night. The world may dismiss them, the mind may doubt them, yet the soul knows their truth. In learning to trust this inner compass, you discover a form of wealth that no external possession can equal, the clarity of knowing when to move, when to wait, when to release, and when to hold fast. The true gift of 27 is not foresight for its own sake, but but the wisdom that comes when vision and compassion unite. To see deeply is not to escape the world, but to serve it more fully. For when your eyes are opened, you no longer act blindly, you move with purpose, guided by the rhythm of something greater. In this way, 27 does not only bless you with vision, it blesses those around you through the clarity and calm that radiate from your presence. This is the seer's path, not to predict for power, but to see in order to awaken. Number 37. The Pilgrim's Fire. 37 arrives like a sacred fire carried through the night, a flame that both guides and tests, never settling, never allowing the soul to rest in complacency. It is not the soft light comfort, but the burning fire of pilgrimage, the kind of light that asks for surrender, sacrifice, and transformation. In numerology, 3 is the voice of creation, the spark of expression, and 7 is the vibration of wisdom, silence, and spiritual quest. Together as 37, they form the number of the seeker who carries fire in their heart, a traveler destined to leave behind illusions and walk into the unknown. This fire does not consume aimlessly, it strips away what is false so that only the eternal remains. In Buddhist teaching, the resonance of 37 finds its perfect mirror in the 37 factors of enlightenment, which are not abstract concepts, but living milestones of awakening. Mindfulness sharpens the vision, right effort sustains the path, concentration deepens awareness, and wisdom completes the circle of truth. These qualities, like sparks feeding a flame, demand constant practice, for enlightenment is not gifted, but earned through the steady burning away of delusion. To live under 37 is to be called to this discipline, to see one's trials as fire temples, where impurities are consumed and clarity is revealed. Nostradamus spoke of fires sweeping through cities and hearts alike, symbols not of mere destruction, but of cycles that cleanse humanity before renewal. Baba Vanga often warned that trials which appear devastating are often the very passages through which souls ascend. The essence of 37 carries these prophecies. It is the living reminder that challenges are never random, they are the sparks of destiny, setting the stage for purification and rebirth. To resist them is to remain in ashes, but to embrace them is to rise as something entirely new. The vibration of 37 asks for courage, a courage that is not loud but steady, the courage to endure long nights of doubt, to keep walking even when the fire burns too close. It promises no ease, no shortcuts, but it promises transformation, the kind that cannot be undone. It teaches that the seeker's wealth is never measured in material gain, but in the wisdom etched into the soul, in the scars that become symbols of strength, in the fire that leaves the heart purified and unshakable. 37 is not a gentle teacher, it is the pilgrim's fire. It burns illusions, it tests endurance, and it shapes a soul that can stand firmly in both storm and silence. To carry this number is to walk through flame willingly, knowing that what is lost was never truly yours, and what remains is indestructible. It is a path that few choose, but those who walk it discover the eternal fire that no shadow can extinguish. Number 10. The Wheel of Renewal. 10 is the perfect circle, the sign that life is not a straight march from beginning to end, but a great wheel that turns, folds, and begins anew. It is the vibration of completion, yes, but also of resurrection, reminding us that what appears as a final chapter is only a disguised doorway. In numerology, 10 symbolizes the culmination of cycles, one returning to its source, yet carrying with it the wisdom of all that has passed. To encounter 10 is to feel the whisper of destiny turning its pages, telling you that nothing is wasted, for every ending becomes the seedbed of what comes next. In Buddhist wisdom, this number resonates with the Dharma wheel, the eternal chakra that spins through time without ceasing. Each revolution is a lesson, each turn an invitation to awaken. To see 10 is to remember that life unfolds not in straight lines, but in spirals, where we return to familiar places, yet always at a higher vantage, with deeper understanding. Death itself, under this number's gaze, is revealed not as annihilation, but as transformation, a passing over into a continuation beyond form. What disappears is only the shell, but the essence travels forward, wearing new garments of time. The great seers spoke of this truth across ages. Nostradamus saw kingdoms fall into dust, only to rise again as empires, reborn, teaching humanity that nothing is truly lost, only transfigured. The blessing of 10 lies in surrender, but not in weakness. It asks you to release your tight grip on what is ending, to trust the rhythm that turns all things in their time. To cling is to suffer, but to let go is to step into the flow of the wheel itself, where abundance waits in its next form. Here, wealth is measured not only in material treasure, but in the courage to embrace change, in the peace that comes from knowing that no ending is final, that continuity weaves through every break like golden thread through fabric. 10 is both the close of a book and the opening of another. It is the harvest gathered after long labor, yet it is also the seed hidden in the soil, waiting for spring's light. To walk with 10 is to embody resilience, to greet farewells, not with despair but with reverence, for they carry within them the hidden promise of rebirth. In this way, 10 is not simply a number, but a sacred turning, a reminder that the circle always brings you home, but never to the same home you once knew. It is richer, wiser, renewed. Tell me, when the wheel of destiny turns for you, will you resist its movement, or will you walk with it, trusting the mystery of endings that quietly shape the beginnings of tomorrow? Number 33, the Master's Light. The visions of Nostradamus echo this truth. He spoke of luminous leaders, not kings or warriors, but teachers and guides, who would emerge in times of turmoil to steady the world with wisdom. Baba Vanga too foresaw the birth of rare souls, whose very presence would inspire hope, who would remind humanity of its higher destiny when all seemed lost. 33 is the seal of such prophecies, carrying within it the promise of guides who walk among us, human yet radiant with timeless light. To carry the energy of 33 is no small task. It is not a number of ease, but of responsibility, for it demands that gifts be shared, that insight become teaching, that compassion become action. It whispers to you that your life is not only your own, it belongs also to those who look to you, knowingly or not, for strength and truth. The wealth of 33 is not gold or power, but the invisible legacy of souls touched, lives lifted, minds awakened. It is the unseen fortune of having kindled light in another heart. And so 33 is both burden and blessing. It asks you to rise higher than comfort, to choose service over self, to embody the luminous thread that connects teacher to student across generations. When the fire of 33 shines through you, will you guard it for yourself, or will you lift it high, letting its brilliance guide the many who still wander in shadow? The hidden gift of 1111 is like a doorway shimmering in the unseen, the sacred portal through which mind and matter meet. In numerology, it is the pure vibration of creation, the spark at the moment of manifestation, when thought is no longer a whisper, but becomes form. It is a call to awareness, reminding you that every thought you carry is a seed, and every seed will find its soil. In the teachings of the Buddha, this truth was spoken with clarity. Mind precedes all things. What you dwell upon, you become. If your mind is steeped in gratitude, blessings unfold. If it is clouded with fear, storms rise. If it is sharpened with clarity, abundance flows. 111 is not a gentle reminder. It is a powerful summons, urging you to awaken to the creative fire of your own consciousness. Nostradamus, gazing into the centuries ahead, foresaw an age when human thought itself would carry the weight of destiny, shaping kingdoms and tearing them down. Baba Vanga spoke of hidden frequencies, invisible codes, by which humanity would one day weave its future. 111 is one such frequency, a pattern in the fabric of time where thought and destiny intertwine. To encounter 11 is to be invited into alignment. It asks you to pause and notice, what are you thinking? What are you feeding? For in this vibration, the universe listens more closely, echoing your inner song into outer form. It is the moment when intention ceases to be private and begins to shape the currents of reality itself. The wealth of 11 is vast, for it is not confined to coin or possession. It is the wealth of possibility, of doors opening where none were seen, of paths forming beneath your feet as you step forward. It is the abundance that arises when your mind, your heart, and the eternal rhythm of the cosmos move as one. 11 is the lotus in bloom at the center of your being, each petal unfolding with the thoughts you choose. The question it leaves you with is profound. Will you allow your mind to wander in shadows, or will you guide it toward light, shaping a reality worthy of your highest truth? And so the sequence closes like a mantra carried by the wind. 14, 6, 27, 37, 10, 33, and the luminous 11. They do not arrive as random marks upon the calendar, but as living currents of energy, each one guiding, testing, and lifting the spirit toward its higher path. To the awakened heart, they are not numbers alone, they are sutras written by the universe, each revealing a different face of truth. In their union, they weave a teaching of balance and compassion, of vision and courage, of renewal, mastery, and the divine act of creation. They are not separate from your journey, but inseparable from the very rhythm of your breath and the turning of your days. They remind you that destiny is not imposed from outside, it awakens within. The seers of old, Nostradamus, with his veiled prophecies, Baba Vanga, with her piercing visions, both spoke of signs that would be recognized only by those willing to look deeper. To the unseeing, these numbers remain mere symbols, but to you, they are the map. September is not a passing of days, it is an initiation. It is the month when endings will whisper of beginnings, when trials will blaze into wisdom, when compassion will reveal its quiet power, and when the light of creation itself will shimmer at the edge of thought. Walk with these numbers, and you walk with destiny itself. Let them be not simply remembered, but lived, so that this September becomes not another mark on time's wheel, but the moment your soul turned toward awakening and never turned back.